I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm also a small business owner, financial services industry. We run a venture capital fund, and there are so many rules and regulations that have been holding down growth over the course of the last 8 years. But I think you're right. You talk about a country divided. It's amazing how people come together when they're happier, when there's growth, when they're making more money, when they have more opportunity. And that's what I think people are feeling right now, that they're no longer being held down. Black, white, blue, green, doesn't matter. People see opportunity in the near future.
Welcome back. So stuck on choosing a filter for your latest Instagram post? Not to worry. New startup Self-Made is here to help. With social outreach of 50 million people, a team of professional photo editors, a dedicated creative agent, and only a month-to-month commitment, Self-Made will make you a hashtag influencer before you have time to click post. Joining us right now is Self-Made founder and CEO Brian Schechter. Brian, it's good to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
Great to be here.
And of course, Mike Murphy, you're a big supporter and
big supporter of Brian. Self-Made fan, supporter, investor on Brian and the team. I think what they're doing is going to kind of change the whole outlook for people who want to build a presence on social media.
And one of the things that your company indicates is that people need to have their own personal brand, and they want to make it better. Tell us how Self-Made works.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and it's really part of the new economy where more and more people need to define themselves, whether they're a freelancer or an entrepreneur. They have to set themselves apart in order to keep up.
Very cool. Mike, what attracted you about this company?
So it's really, Brian and his co-founder, Zach, they're successful entrepreneurs from the past. So they've built businesses. Brian built and sold a business. Zach worked at Google Docs, ran Google Docs for a long time. So they have great background, great pedigree, and I think they're really tapping into something that's needed right now because people, it's no longer whether or not you want to build a presence. If you're an entrepreneur, you need a presence on something like Instagram. 800 million users out there on Instagram. So to find a way to do it correctly, a lot of people know they spend all this time and money on their business, and then they throw a picture up, a selfie up on Instagram, which isn't really doing it justice. Yeah. And that's where these guys come in.
Well, you mentioned the users. You invested in this company.
Yes, we're investors in the company. We love what the company's doing. Jeff and his team are awesome. But one thing I wanted to point out is that the goal of Cargo is to help drivers. So a lot of drivers, are working with Uber, they're working with Lyft, they're working with several different ride-sharing companies. So the point here is that the driver makes extra money. And I wanted Jeff to speak to that. Yeah. Drivers not only making more money, but drivers are also seeing their ratings go higher, right?
That's absolutely correct. As all these major rideshare providers sort of exploded in growth, the fears that drivers were earning went down because of price competitiveness. So we said when we started the company, how do we help drivers earn more and how do we provide a better experience to our passengers?
Ashley Webster is with us. Elizabeth McDonald here as well, of course, and Mike Murphy from Rsoecliff Capital. I'm staying with Tesla because I find it so extraordinary, overtaking the Ford Motor Company in value. I've asked you about 20 minutes ago what you think about this. Tell us again.
Well, I think that they're pricing Tesla like a technology company, Stuart. If you can think back a few years, there were announcements coming out saying Amazon is now worth more than Macy's. Amazon is now worth more than this retailer. And now you think about it, of course they are. You see Amazon today, you would think it's 10 times what Macy's is, and rightfully so. So that's what the bet is on Tesla. I'm not telling people to go out and buy Tesla at $300 a share. But that's what the market is telling you right now, that they're betting on Elon Musk and they're betting on the growth in Tesla.
Is there a shot that they're right? That
Absolutely.
Tesla is the technology company of the future, taking over the car industry?
Absolutely.
They're right?
They really? Could be. And what else can Elon Musk do with that technology? There are so many other things. Like, remember, Amazon, I keep using that analogy, they were a bookseller. Now look what they are.
That is if they have the oomph behind them to get it home, right?
That is the point here. But if you watch how the market has reacted to this, Neil, I think, after a big run-up to all-time highs, we had that sell-off yesterday that got a little bit nasty towards the end of the day. But I think really now today you're seeing the NASDAQ, the techs, the big leaders where there's growth starting to rebound up about 0.5%.
What if they don't get this? What if there's, we build in assumptions that we're going to get this by the end of the year. What if we don't?
If we don't, I think the market can begin to sell off. I think you're looking at then a 10%, possibly 15% correction in the market. So, but I look at it now and say that I think it's too early to make that assumption. Right now, I think we're going to get a rate hike in June. I think, as Glenn mentions, we're going to get the president and his team back on point. And if
very much. And I want to know why Apple is languishing at $109 a share.
You want to explain this one there, Murphy?
Sure, I'll do my best. Anyway, so Apple ran up into its last earnings report, was up in the mid-130s, and since then you've seen a slowdown in China. You've seen a lot of concerns in the stock, and now it's kind of stopped here because from a valuation standpoint, Apple's a screaming buy here. You're not going to find a company with this much cash anywhere. You're not going to find a company with the balance sheet that Apple has. They're selling products, still massive demand for all of their products, yet it's a $600 billion market cap. So a lot of people have concerns, although Wall Street price targets are up in the 140 to 160 range.
Yep.
So a lot of the analysts believe there's a lot of upside here. But rather than listening to the analysts, listen to what the market's telling you. The stock is stuck here at 110. I want to see it start to move and get out of its own way before I'd want to step in and buy.
We're giving you a lot of time on the show today because your mom's watching. Let's be clear.